Gentlemen, welcome back. When I left, I'm gonna do a little story time. And those that have read my book, Excommunicated Warrior, if you haven't, read it, xwarrior.com. Get yourself a copy, or it's on Amazon and Audible and all the other places. But nonetheless, when I left Special Operations, that was a hard chapter in my life, as in a hard page change. You know, we go through life, you live long enough, you have multiple chapters in your life. And a lot of times we get stuck in a particular chapter. And the reason for that is because we create an identity to a certain chapter. And it happens a lot in the military, first responders, but it also happens in corporate jobs. I've talked to guys from UPS that have been there 28 years and they get laid off 2 years before their retirement. And they're like, well, wait a minute. I thought that, I'm part of the team, guys. I'm supposed to get my pension and all this bullshit that they sell you. And the reality is they don't really care. So you get the rug pulled out from underneath you. I've also talked to, stay-at-home moms that they're like, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm going to raise my kids the right way. I'm going to prepare them for the world. And then what happens when the kids reach 18? They're like, hey, mom, you're welcome for me being here for these last 18 years and gracing you with our presence, and we're out, and good luck with everything you have going on. And they're like, what the fuck? This is what I do, and now I don't know what I do. And it happened to me too. Everything was about me. I was a Marine Raider. I was in Special Operations. I thought about those things. I hung out with the other type of guys. Like I lived in the neighborhood that all the other guys lived in. I mean, my kids go to the same, all went to the same school. It's like you're just very indoctrinated to that way of life. So when that job removes you from that, or you remove yourself from that arena, and you get to transition to something else, it's a rocky road. It's a hard page turn. And what people tend to do is they just stay right at the end of that chapter, and they're afraid to turn the page to start a new one because their identity is wrapped up into that job. And that should never be, it should never be that way. You are who you are. Now I'm just me. I do a bunch of different things, but I'm just me. I'm Nick. I'm a fucking badass. I'm the top G. I'm the number one motherfucker in my life, right? I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a business owner. I'm a leader. I'm a servant. These are the things that identify me. And when those things identify me, I can do anything. I can go anywhere. I don't have an identity crisis, right? Anyways, so when I left Special Operations, I thought I had it all figured out, but the reality was I didn't, and I held on to this. What did I do? I went and contracted. And then I started a contracting company. I started a training consulting company because that's all I thought I could do. I didn't know there was more to it. And it wasn't until, and I was miserable and depressed. And if you guys know the story in the book, you know the story, but I was fucking miserable and depressed. And it showed in my health, and it showed in my weight, and it showed in my everything, my finances, because I was just stuck. And some of you are just stuck. But when I let go of that and I turned the fucking page and I started writing the new chapter, I realized that the next chapter is the best one yet. And hear me out. I was the guy riding motorcycles off the back of helicopters with all my friends with guns in bad guy land. That was a rad fucking chapter in my life. Very cool. But the reality is the chapter that I'm writing now is so incredibly more badass that I would never go back. So for all the those that ask me, do you miss it? Would you go back? No. Hell no. I don't miss it, and I wouldn't go back because there's no way that I'm giving up the chapter that I'm in my life that I'm writing right now. And I want that for you. I want you to turn the fucking page and write the next chapter, because this chapter might be the very, very best one of your life. And you're not writing it because you're stuck in an old story. So why don't we turn the chapter? Why don't we turn the page and start writing the next chapter? Fear. Fear of the unknown, the uncertainty. What if I fail? What if I don't like it? What if the last chapter was the best chapter? Fear. And then we've always got, our friends, our family are always the first to naysay. They're always the first to put a seed of doubt. How many of your family members say, go for it? Do it. Write that next chapter. Start that business. Do the thing that you're afraid to do. None of them, because they won't take risk. So you have to always ask yourself, one, do they have the life that I want? And if they don't have the life that you want, why would you take advice for somebody that's not living the life that you want to live? So if fear is the thing that's holding you back, you have to do the thing that you're afraid to do. Always. Do the thing that you're afraid to do. Maybe you're afraid to have a conversation. Maybe you're afraid to start a business, start a podcast, apply for a job, change a job. But the reality is everything that you want in life is on the other side of that fear. Fear is a thing that makes you complacent. Fear is the thing that makes you stagnate. Fear is the thing that just keeps you right where you're at. So ladies and gentlemen, never be afraid to turn the fucking page in your book of life and write the next chapter. So like I said, that next chapter might be the fucking very best one that you've ever lived. And you're wasting it on an old story. You guys know the deal. Never quit, never surrender, always forward. See you guys in the next episode.